Hey there, everyone. I hope you are all doing good. Stazma here. And today I'm going to make another video about the Midi fighter and how to map controls to it in live to have fun with a little session that you have created. So you can use it as a little control center that you can play on the pads. This video is sponsored by one of my Patreon who actually ordered a few videos on the topic on how to use the Midi fighter inside live. So if, like him, you would like me to make some videos about something that you want, just go have a look at my Patreon page. Let's go for it. So here we go for another play around with the Midi fighter. So I have made a relatively simple thing, which starts by pressing scene 1. So it's all going to play sequentially. And I've done a few things here that I'm going to explain later. First, I can trigger this clip that is then going to trigger all the others sort of at random. This is going to trigger this breakbeat. And this same trick. So this is my classic way of playing with breakbeats with this live. I've added a few others here. This is nothing new here. This I'm going to show you later, the follow action thing, how to set it up. And there is another, those 4. This is activating dry wet of the spectral delay. This one is actually modulating this. I have another way to play around with this that I'm going to show you. And this is doing some octave up on the electric piano thing. And this is pretty good. So let me show you around. Let's solo the breakbeats. So we have this one, that are the full ones, and then these things. So in order to do that, you can, what I've done is simply just decide of arbitrary new beginnings of the sample. So it's the same one, copy, paste, and I want this one to start here on the snare. Then Midi, up, this is that pad that's been used here as a trigger source. If I remove the follow action here, this is much more simple. If I now put the follow action again, what I want to do is follow action, other, so they don't re-trigger themselves, unlink, and one is what I want here, something very fast. Also make them snappier here. cool because you know that it's a snare. At least the first one. So even the first one you could make it full on. If you leave it be, it will play other stuff. This is a nice way to add unpredictability to your things. Even though it's not that unpredictable because you still have chosen what's inside that region, so what's going to repeat. I've done the same thing here. See, just different start points. This one are any, so sometimes they re-trigger. Why not? Before we continue on this, I can show you one very fun trick. I'm going to go on this page that I haven't used yet. I'm going to map, or let's go for just 8 pads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I'm going to duplicate and choose different start points every time going from 2 things. Now, full action. If I leave it like this, in linked mode, it's waiting for the whole thing to go. So we'll unlink, and we are going to find a rhythm that suits us. This is a bit too long. This should be too fast. Make sure you always select everything. That's good. That's what we want. And if you use the MIDI out of your MIDI controller in live, in the preference, you can see it go. And from there, let's also make sure the quantize is faster, like 160. I love this way of playing with sample as well. Let's go back with everything. As they're all on the same track, they will always shock each other out. Let's talk about the others now. So here you might have noticed the drum rack, and this lane is not used anywhere in the MIDI thing. So it's basically just sending MIDI notes to whatever channel, MIDI channel is selected. This one here. And I've used the drum rack, and this is one of the new tricks that I've discovered recently. Drum rack, and on each note you want, you put a MIDI envelope, which means every time you press this envelope will fire, and you can map it to whatever you want. This one here is the dry wet of the spectral time. So let's just fire this. So here, if I want to make the transition longer, if I instantly want it, you can do that for the different stuff. So here I've used as well this thing to add some gain. Then we have the whole group that is sent to this with transit 2 on it, and this pad is the ADSR that controls the macro. If you add release, which is the time it takes to fall back to 0 after you... Yeah, you can have it go back like this or instantaneously. Let's add a stretch thing. This one, I've used this to sync. But the problem is that if you don't... I mean, it was all the time, because the envelope is retriggering itself in this mode. So what I've done is to use another envelope. So basically I'm triggering both of them right now, but this one is set to control the amount of this one, then going to control. This is... this utility here. Basically, I've done a reverse envelope because it's subtracting information from the volume, so it needs to... I mean, it's the... sorry, it's this one. The attack is going to make it snappier. You can do lots of weird tremolo shapes. You could also set it to loop, which is no... no quantize. And also this one, as I said earlier, is just moving that pitch. But this is just like the few ideas that I had while preparing this. You can do whatever. And as you can see, piling up envelopes to control themselves might lead to some pretty funny stuff. But let's do that ping pong thing. So I'm going to add another envelope. This one is going to control attack and decay. So it doesn't sustain, maybe. Oh yeah. Modular synth stuff, but applied to live. That's it for today. Many thanks. See you in the next one. Bye bye.